Hello guys, Liza Hudson from Landing Page Guys here, and welcome to another free audit session. So guys, as always, before I jump into these audits, just a couple of things. If you're currently watching this in YouTube, guys, and you're not a member of our free Facebook group, then head on over after this session, search landingpagelab.com and ask to join the group. It's completely free. You're going to find loads of useful tips and tricks in here. Plus, we've got some really exciting stuff dropping, so do make sure you are a member of the lab. And of course, guys, if you're currently watching this and you're in the lab and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you head on over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that you guys get notified as soon as we drop some fresh content. So there's loads of really cool stuff in here, guys. Please don't miss a trick. So for those of you that haven't been here before, what I am about to do is I am going to run through 6 pages that I have chosen at random from links that guys have been putting into the lab over the last couple of weeks. Now today is slightly different because instead of doing the desktop version, I'm actually going to be doing just the mobile versions. Mobile obviously is a huge source of traffic these days, but I just want to show you that the principles absolutely apply still. So with me, as always, I have got my 2 trusty tools. The first one being tools.pingdom.com. This is a free little page speed test site, guys. You can use this yourselves. And of course, I've also got with me builtwith.com. So this is going to show me what you guys are using to build your pages. Now, again, for those of you that haven't been here before, I'm going to go through each of these pages and I'm going to give you guys, in some cases, some quite brutally honest feedback. But this is all about adding value. So what I'm going to do is give you some actionable tips that you can take away, implement today, and you will see an uplift in your conversion rate. Every session we have generates some really good results, guys. So please make sure you do let us know how you get on with these sessions as well. So we work to many principles, guys. So I'm going to open up the first page. And the main one, and the one that we're going to be using today, is the ADA principle. Again, if you don't know what that means, basically what it means is that above the fold, so this point where you don't need to scroll any further, we are going to capture your consumer's attention. You are then going to start piquing their interest with your engaging content and sort of any breakdown of processes. And then you're going to create this real sense of desire. And that's obviously in the form of social proof, case studies, before and afters. And then that final A is for action. So that's the A, the I, the D, and the A, guys. So I've just popped this into the built with, as you can see. So this is a WordPress page, and I didn't even see what it was for, and the load speed is very good. So guys, page speed is one of the most critical conversion elements. Obviously also, you know, having a good page speed is going to help with your quality scores and all that kind of good stuff too. So do make sure you are optimizing for speed every opportunity you can. And this is a great score. So well done. Now, what I have done is I noticed I had a few pages which are not in English. So I've cheated and I have translated and basically put them into mobile view. So I haven't actually gone through the pages properly at all. I always find it's better to kind of just go through honestly and openly with you guys here as we stand. So I've got all of these in the iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus view, purely for the sake of this video, if I'm honest. Normally we'd kind of look in the iPhone 6, 7, 8 as they seem to be very, very popular phones. So off the get-go with this page, what is it? Sightly. We create digital solutions in all sizes, dedicated. Okay, so we've got an agency, and obviously this is some sort of lead generation page. So brilliant niche, obviously one that's close to our hearts. But off the get-go, what I would say is I can see some areas where this can instantly be tweaked to help you guys push the needle in the direction you want to go. So the first thing is your header. Your banner here is way too large. This does not need to be this big. It's taking up nearly 1/3 of your page. So this is just killing your real estate. Also, it's not too intuitive. Everything's kind of squished into the middle. So I would left align your logo, you know, have your hamburger menu in the top right, and then you can have your login as well. And that would free up basically all of this space. Now, above the fold, to be perfectly honest, I don't feel like you're selling me this solution overly effectively at this point. So you're saying, welcome to who you are. sort of, we create digital solutions, which is fine, but what ideally you want to get across here is what's in it for me. So obviously these guys have come from an advert, you've directed them to this page for a reason. So initially off the get-go, we want to see what's in it for me, what's in it for me as a client to sign up or speak with you today. So I think your headline, we need to go down something slightly more benefits driven. So a benefits driven statement is what you kind of need above the fold, so your value proposition. And then I think on this page, I would bullet point out, so you've got text here, bullet point out the sort of 3 or 5 key points as to why we should actually take this action with you today. What is it about Sightly that's gonna make me want to actually sign up with you guys? You know, are you cheaper? Are you quicker? Are you better? Is it the quality? Give us those points and give them to us nice and clearly as soon as we land. In terms of call to action, you need to change your call to action color. I know that, you know, it's a very small amount of branded color in terms of the blue, but it's not standing out for the right reasons. Obviously, we've got pages taking us, I'm assuming this takes us to a different page. It could link down, but I'm not going to click it on this video. What we want to see here, ideally, is one call to action. Excuse me. So have a nice big strong call to action above the fold. I would go for something way brighter, a bit stronger. You can absolutely get an emoji on there as well. And also what you haven't got here is any form of social proof. So obviously on mobile views, people are like, oh, how do I get everything above the fold? Well, it's simple. You don't get everything above the fold, but you get the key components here. And one of those key components is the star rating. So, you know, if you've got your headline, you've pulled everything up, you can then get your nice star rating underneath and elongate it. Always try and elongate it, guys. So out of however many happy clients or satisfied or whatever the terminology you want to use, just make sure you're elongating it slightly there. Also, there's no trust here either. Now for lead generation, trust comes in multitude of forms. So it will be things like any accreditations you've got, any companies you've worked with is a big one. So preferably across the bottom of your hero section, so just underneath here, you would have that nice sort of section or even just a banner with those accreditations in. Now, if you haven't got any recognizable companies or you're worried about that, then get things like the secure symbol. So the fact that it's data encryption secured, these things will show people that you can be trusted with their data. So there's lots of ways you can kind of show trust there as well. It doesn't hurt. You've got enough room to probably get a nice sort of strapline testimonial there as well. Now, as we go down, you should be starting to pique my interest with your content. I actually quite like this. It's clean. I think your icon used to text ratio is good. It's really nice and clean, so I don't have any issues with this. And then we go into obviously more of your content. So this is a nice section. It's actually a really nice page. Obviously, this is a page within your site, and ideally, guys, if you are paying for traffic to come to a page, you want that page to be all about that service. So if there's something that you can do in a pop-up, then do it in a pop-up. If it has to take you to another page, chances are you might lose that conversion. So try and keep it as streamlined as possible and about the service as possible. So giving these calls to action, fine, that's fine. I like your icons, as I've said, because obviously this is one we use as well, which is really nice. What I would say is that there's not enough call to action so far. So I am halfway down your page, and whilst you've got these read mores, there's nothing to kind of get me to reach out to you and contact you. So make sure you're repeating your call to action. I would probably have one here. I personally would go something like the yellow. Excuse me. I would probably go with something like the yellow, so it really stands out from your page. Definitely get an emoji on there, and just back up your call to action with your star rating as well, so that you're reiterating that social proof as we go through your page. I think what would be really nice with your content would be to have a 1, 2, 3 section in here. So explain to people what the actual process is. Is it, fill out a form? Is it going to be book a call, tell us what the process is going to be, and tell us quite quickly on as well. So, you know, if it's fill out this form, then what's going to happen? What's step 2? Well, we're going to get back to you in such and such. And then what's step 3? Step 3 is that we're going to take care of your business and take away all the pain. So pull out on the benefit for the 3rd step, but do think about getting a 1, 2, 3 process in here. You're quite text heavy, in all honesty, but it's not too bad. It's cool. I think a bit more color would probably benefit these sections as well, just to show this clear differentiation between each section. So it's not just reams and reams of kind of like text. Like here, for example, I don't know if there's an image not loading there at the moment, or if you just have padding here. But I would personally, you know, watch this, get some kind of imagery in here, even if you get a banner from one side to the other, or differentiate between the colors. Your content is nice. Obviously, this isn't loading for some reason. Nope, don't know what that is. So just watch out for little things like that. You then go down into your desire section. Really happy to see you've got this, and you've got it in the right place as well, which is so great to see. You've gone from your interest, excuse me, you've gone from your interest down into this social proof, which is just so key on any page. One thing I would say is try and get yourself some images to go with these reviews. Unfortunately, in this day and age, people are very mistrusting, and you know, they think that we've typed these things ourselves, which I'm sure you haven't. So just try and get an image and an authentic image to go with them as well. But really nice that you've got those on here, so that's really cool. Obviously, we've got quite a few here. This is the thing on the mobile view. So with reviews, it can go either way. You know, you can have like the list of them. Make sure you're reiterating a call to action if they're going on for too long. Or you can try and get them on a carousel, because it's a little bit more kind of interactive as well. So that's something to consider. Then we go down. This is nice, very clean. Obviously, you got some trust here. Okay, so we've hit the bottom. What you need to do, guys, is get yourself a frequently asked questions section after your desire section. So do make sure that you are addressing any barriers to entry on the page. And this will definitely help with conversion for sure. So make sure that you've got, say, your top 5 questions. Just ask your friends, ask your clients, ask anyone, what would you ask me? What would be the most common question? At its most basic form, it is a form of lead qualification, because if somebody has to contact you for something that could have been on that site, it's a waste of your time. It's a waste of their time. So do try and address those things on the page itself. And then what you want to do is go down into a big repeat call to action. So as I hit the bottom of this page, it kind of just fizzles out and there's no direction for me. In fact, there's been no direction for me for quite some time. So you definitely need to get more calls to action in here and get people to contact you, reiterate it with your social proof. And like I say, get that FAQ section and then repeat that call to action. Now on lead gen, you know, with the repeat call to action, you can do it a few ways. You can either just have the actual call to actions in the button itself with the social proof to go along with it. Or you can reiterate your hero like on a sales page. So you can have a bit of a headline, you know, you can have some bullets, and then you can reiterate that nice big call to action. So that's the first page. It's actually, in terms of content, I think it's very nice. It could probably do with being a little bit more visual, a bit less texty in places, but the main differences for yours would be your hero section and then those repeat calls to action. So let me know how you get on, guys. And let's have a look at the next one. So we have a hair curler on this one. I did just have a quick peek. And what are you built with? Built with is great, guys. If you see a site, someone else's site that you like, and you think, my gosh, how did they do that? Well, drop it into built with, and it's going to tell you what it's built with, e.g. Shopify in this case, but it's also going to show you what kind of apps are in here, all kinds of like all the good stuff, so you can emulate these pages if that's what you want to do. So definitely a great little tool. And this is, like I said, Shopify. So love Shopify. Shopify is so user friendly, and we've got a 1.83 second load time. So that's actually good. Now, page speed, obviously, like I said, is crucial on a Shopify store. When you're loading a product page, you want to be getting it like sub 2 seconds for sure. Anything under that is pretty good. So you've done good on that. I think, is this a sales page? This is a sales page. Oh no, this is a sales page. So the first thing is great, your banner's not too big, which is fantastic. I think that your little informational video here is very good. It's instantly clear what it is I'm actually about to look at. So I've got to say, I think that's a really good job there. Your thumbnail images, fantastic. The padding looks good. This is a good page. Congrats, you've qualified for fast and free shipping. I think that could stand out way more. So obviously it looks pretty muted. It's hard to read. So I think you could make that stand out a bit more, maybe in the coloring or bolding your font. In terms of this hero, fantastic. We've got this star rating, 4.9. I love this. Wavy customers. This is what we're talking about elongating those terms, guys, for pulling out on the emotions. So we've got achieve the curls you've always dreamed of within seconds. And then we go down into some content. I think this is a good hero section. I would maybe personally test switching it around slightly. So I think if you were to pull this down and have your headline first, it's got that good flow. It's something worth testing. It depends on what you're converting at right now. But I would definitely recommend trying your headline above your imagery, then your imagery, then we can go into some of the different content. Another thing I would test is, getting this content maybe down into the second section and bring your call to action up so that it is absolutely above the fold, because we just want to be able to see that there's an action we can take straight away. So ideally above the fold on your mobile, you want your branding, you want your headline, you want your imagery, you want your social proof and call to action. And if you can as well, get some trust proof on there as well. So I think I would basically take this content down into the second scroll and pull this up. So let's get that pricing nice and evident. Let's get that saving, which is fantastic. You're showing the saving and this great strong call to action. All of this basically here. So where it starts, voted best wireless. Then go into this content. Again, I think if you're switching these around, I would use a little bit of iconography with it as well, just to make it pop that little bit more. But yeah, I think I'd probably just switch that around. This is the trust icons we've been talking about, guys. So really nice to see you've got there. Loving the emoji. These scarcity things, again, test worthy. The kind of real flashy banners and that we don't find working so well now, but this is an interesting one. It looks kind of cute. It's very, very difficult to read. This is absolutely tiny, so you might want to take a look at your font size there, just because it's a little bit hard to read here. But yeah, so basically your hero is pretty good. I would just test switching the ordering of this and definitely pull up that key information above the fold. This is the kind of trust that I was talking about, guys, in terms of you've been featured in. Obviously for products, this can be really good. So things like, as you've got here, seen in Marie Claire, whether it's Buzz, Forbes, or in the UK, Daily Mail, wherever it might be, these are instantly giving the consumers this is being socially recognized and this is being recognized by the media. So instantly, this is a product worth kind of looking at. So that's great. You then go into this section here. So this 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't feel like this section is as clear as it could be. It's not overly clear that this is a step process. Yes, we have the numbers, but it's not great to read, in all honesty. I think maybe you could simplify this even more. So literally, stating the fact that it's as easy as 1 to 4 in seconds or whatever it might be. This one and the arrow, it's not making sense where these arrows are coming from, or if it's related to this, which I don't believe it is. So I just think you need to just use some sort of icon, the number 1, and then your text, but not squishing them in side by side. So I just think you need to elongate that and maybe rethink your buttons there as well. Call to action, fantastic. Like I said, you can use your payment icons and or your star rating as well. You've got plenty of space here. The padding here is quite large, so you could nicely fit in your star rating there as well, but I would switch it around. So you have the large call to action, the smaller social proof, and then the smaller payment icon. So go from large to small to small. Like I said, yeah, the content here looks to be pretty good. Again, padding is quite large in between places. I think you could probably tighten that up, in all honesty. Why it works and how to use. Yeah, I mean, I think on mobile version this works. We like to have absolutely everything on the page for people to see. But I do think these tabs absolutely work on a mobile version. It is user friendly. But again, I just feel like your icons, I think maybe it's the color palette. It's not standing out enough, and this background is just a little bit kind of weak. So I think maybe you could work to bold this out a bit more. And this, again, it's floating. It doesn't look like it's sitting with this. So you need to think of a way to make this very evident that it's on here. So I just feel like this is a little bit weak in terms of the kind of coloring and the just basically in terms of the coloring. So other than that, the actual content that you're talking about, I think is great. You're not losing too much text. You're using imagery where you can, which is fantastic. And you're repeating your call to action. Same thing, padding. You're using too much padding between these two sections. Again, you're still piquing my interest, Now, on a mobile version, it's really interesting because obviously on a desktop, you can think, okay, I've got my hero section. I've then got interest, I've then got desire, I've then got action. And you can almost picture it as like 4 scrolls of a page. And it could be super effective to have it in that format. So these 4 scrolls, essentially, it's to the point. It's telling the consumer exactly why they want this product, why they need it, and you're off. Now on a mobile, obviously that becomes elongated. So it becomes very much about choosing the correct content to actually go on there as well, rather than just having lots of kind of reams and reams of information. But I think you do a good job here, which is great. You then go down into your design section, which is fantastic. And I think you've got this on a carousel, which is nice. It's a really nice little section. So this is great because this looks like genuine images as well. For some reason, it's not scrolling for me. There we go. Okay. But like I said, I like the fact it's on a carousel. I like the fact that you're clearly using some genuine images here. So that's a really nice section. Again, pull this up and keep those sections nice and tight. You then go into FAQs. You're absolutely nailing it here. So this is fantastic. This is typical. So this is some great FAQs for these types of products. So, these are going to be most people's kind of questions. How long's delivery? Can I get a refund? They're very standard questions. So, not putting them on the page is crazy. So it's nice to see you've got those there, which is great. And then we go down into a bundling section. Absolutely love this. So looking at your bundles, you've got all the key components there that I could see. I like the way you're obviously trying to make this one more attractive. And I like the dynamic action you've got going on here. Overall, I actually think this is a really nice page. You could potentially try and get these 3. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but you can get all 3 bundles onto one scroll. And that's super effective as well, because then you can visually see without scrolling the most attractive immediately, rather than having to kind of follow the page down. But yep, we've got, the content, absolutely brilliant. We've got the star rating, we've got the trust in there as well. And then we hit the bottom of the page. So overall, I actually think this is a very good page. I think there are some things that you guys could test. So for one, I would try getting the bundles all on one scroll for sure. I would definitely watch your padding between your sections. It just looks a little bit lost. And maybe get your star rating on there as well. I feel like this section, this 1, 2, 3, 4 section could definitely be tightened up. And then on the hero, try and get this, your call to action and your pricing above the fold, and test having this header above there. So this is more about tweaking, I think, on this page than any kind of major structural changes, but really nice. I'd actually quite like to try that product too. So let's move on to the 3rd page. This is another one that I have translated. So I actually opened these up, had a quick scan, but I haven't really looked properly. And let's see what this is. I can't believe we're halfway already, guys. So if you are enjoying this content, or you want to maybe see your page on one of these videos, then what you need to do, guys, is make sure that you are a member of the Landing Page Lab. So after this video, go on over to Facebook and have a little look for landingpagelab.com. And in there, guys, it's totally free to join. And what happens is every few weeks, we drop a link and give you guys the opportunity to get your pages on here as well. So this one looks like it's a custom page. Let's have a look at the speed. Did I already press that? Okay, so it's quite a high time if that's a HTML page. Well, you can, when you're custom coding, get these like, you know, like sub half a second, like some crazy quick speeds, but it's not a horrendous time, but I think you could definitely get this down. So let's see what this actually is. So this is the ones I translated. So this is PC repair from 0 to expert. Now, for some reason, I can't get rid of the cookies on there. So, but I can see that the banner again, guys, is a little bit too large. It's quite difficult to see here. I think that is large because you've got all of this pushed all the way down. So again, you know, if you've got these banners, just make sure you keep them nice and small and give yourselves all the content above the fold nice and clear. Now, off the get-go here, what I would say is, from a personal perspective, I find this to be quite busy. I'm not overly sold on what I'm getting at this point. So I think, guys, you need to kind of declutter slightly. Sorry if that seems harsh. So the first thing is your headline, PC repair from 0 to expert. Now, obviously, this has been translated, so things get lost in translation. And I think that's okay. This is very confusing. This looks like a call to action, but I don't think it is. So this, you need to change this. Basically, it makes no sense at all. You've got something that looks like a bottom and then 5 stars next to it. So ideally you want your, 5 stars from 9,000 plus happy students, or whatever it might be, but bring this together in the form of a sentence and your star rating, and not have this button there because that's really confusing to the eye. Your pricing is good. It's nice and strong above the fold, which is great to see. I think you could pull out on the savings, so you're not telling me how much I'm saving here. Try to use the actual monetary value as well, guys, because a lot of people, they see the monetary value more effective than they do seeing a percentage. So try and actually specify here how much people are saving. Your call to action color is great. It's nice. It stands out from the crowd. But it's kind of misaligned, so it's sort of off to the left. The padding to the right isn't sitting right. So try and centrally align this, and you need to get your payment seals here as well, guys. So I think you need to strip some of this content. This is way too texty. It doesn't make too much sense at this point either. No prerequisites. 12 hours of video step by step. It's not overly clear. Think about those benefits that we talked about. What is the benefit to me becoming a PC repair expert? Well, it's going to save me money. It means I can help my friends, or I could get a job with it. Think about the benefits and get those up here, as opposed to necessarily all what's included. And again, I would take these down to 3 or 5 bullet points. So we find that the odd number of bullet points convert way better than even. So just think about maybe changing that slightly. Get your pricing saving here. I don't think you need this lifetime access to the course here. Pull this call to action up, centralize that, and get your payment icons underneath there as well. And then that's pretty much your hero section. Then we go down, you should be piquing my interest as per the ADA principle. I think, I haven't looked, but I assume that on the desktop, this is part of your hero image. So I can sort of see how it's just kind of like stacked as we've gone onto the mobile view. And then we go down, you should be starting to pique my interest with your content. So you're giving me some, I'm just gonna have a look, see what we've got. Similar to the other one, actually, in the terms of look at all this padding. So here we've got a call to action, we've got this huge padding underneath and this huge padding here. Try and keep your sections nice. I mean, the padding between here and here is fine, but then it kind of looks like it's floating. It looks a bit lost. I would absolutely keep your call to action consistent, guys. So stick with the same color that you had above, that nice sort of bright blue. Definitely get yourself an emoji on there and keep your terminology and your wording the same. So on your call to action, guys, if you can keep it as consistent as possible and give basically one call to action, you are going to have a higher conversion rate. So whether it's start now, or I want this course now, or get course now, use exactly the same terms, same fonts. If you're capitalizing, make sure it's the same on every single button, because as soon as you start to give people choices or confuse the message, we become indecisive. So we have really short attention spans now. So make sure you're keeping it nice and the same. And do reiterate your star rating and or your payment icons as well whenever you're giving a call to action. Something to note as well on this sales page, sorry, just going back, is I would definitely get yourselves a sticky call to action. So despite giving all of these call to actions, get yourself a sticky call to action as well. It won't hurt anybody. We know that they work, even though you're given these directional cues, which you should, you know, it's by someone's thumb. They don't have to think twice. So it's well worth putting one on there as well. Now, again, this page, let's have a look. What's this? 1, 2, 3. Online downloadable, 2, 20 hours, 3. Okay, so here you're starting to tell me kind of what's involved in the course. In terms of the content, this is actually quite nice. The 1, 2, 3, 4, again, it's not standing out that well, but overall, I like this section. I think this section would serve you better higher up. So, you know, maybe in between one of these or above. I think breaking it down into that process, or what's included early on, will pique someone's interest really nicely. So maybe think about reordering that. There's no real differentiation, sorry to be harsh, but you know, there's a lot of stuff going on this page, which is fine. But when we go down into these sections, so like this is really nice. You know, you've got a nice bit of icons, some imagery. It's all white on black, white on black. I would think about using some kind of background color or something to differentiate out each section, because as it stands right now, I don't know how much longer this page is going to go on. So I think that's really key on mobile as well. You want to keep it nice and clear that there is either a section coming up or you know, even the end of the page coming up, but you want to differentiate between each section. It makes it more manageable in terms of reading, I think, and it sort of keeps you a bit more engaged as well. And from a design perspective, you know, it's more impactful. So we're still doing the interest here. I do like these icons and little pieces. You've got snippets here, and then we have a review dotted about, which is nice. And then you're starting to tell me that we've got the sale. So this is the first time that you've actually told me that this is a sale. Now, I know that you striked out your pricing above the fold, but it didn't tell me that this was a sale price. It didn't tell me how much I was saving. This feels, you know, you need to just make more of a feature of that. And again, you know, same thing with the calls to action. So I think you had an explanation mark after one. Make sure it's absolutely consistent, and do get your payment icons under there as well, guys, because that will make a huge difference. There's a bit of trust there in terms of a 7-day warranty. You can do those things in like a seal. So if you have like little money back seals or things like that, or warranty seals, they are easier for the consumer to instantly see what it is. So the more visual you can make that, the better. Same thing on the padding. Then we go down into some bonuses, what's included. You know, this is all good content, but I feel like it would have done you better a little bit higher. Same thing. Then we go into desire. Okay, so this is cool. You've got some video reviews here. Video reviews are absolutely awesome. Do you go down into... Okay, so we have community. So guys, in your desire section, which is like one of the key selling points these days, in your desire section, what you want to do is definitely have video testimonials, and there's something you can test. So you could potentially put it so that the captions are on, but also make sure that you have got a written testimony on point as well. Now, I know that your community screenshots here are showing you giving it sort of legitimacy, but I would still get the written testimonials on here as well. Now, the reason for that is when you're on a tube or when you're on a bus, you know, you might not want to have the volume on. So you just want to make sure you're covering all bases there as well. But so good to see that you've got that. Obviously, this is a conflicting call to action. I'm not sure, in all honesty, if this is going to take me somewhere else. So just make sure that you clarify that there. Great that you've got all this community stuff. I mean, it's a long page, which is cool. And then we go into frequently asked questions. Fantastic. I'm so happy to see that you've got this here. And then hopefully we will be going down into a final call to action, which we are, which is great. So I think for you guys, in all honesty, this is way better look than the button above the fold. But I think for you guys, like I said, it's going to be about breaking up your sections, making it clearer that there's some section breaks, get a few written testimonials on there as well. Just think about backing up all of your calls to action with this kind of social proof and all your payment icons, and maybe condensing this content down slightly. Let me just get right back to the top. And definitely on your hero section, guys, you need to pull out on the benefits of why we want to actually purchase this course, and pull out on that nice saving, get those payment icons and all that other good stuff there as well. So moving on to a lazy AI mouse. Okay. Guys, if you're not a member of our, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We've got some very exciting content coming out actually in the next couple of months. So do make sure you head on over and hit subscribe. And guys, if you want to see more of these, all we actually ask is for you guys to give us some feedback. Basically, the more you guys interact with us in the lab, the more of this like free content we want to put out. So this is a WordPress and WooCom page. Again, another super user-friendly platform. And let's have a look at the load speed. So 2.41 seconds. This can definitely be decreased. Yep, there's like some things you can do server side, and it's going to be like compressing down some images as well by the looks of it. So let's have a look at the lazy AI mouse. So what actually is this? A smart AI wireless voice mouse. Feel the efficiency, voice typing, voice search, voice translation. Okay, so first thing off the get-go from my initial looking here, firstly, I absolutely love your branding. I think that is super cute, very to the point, really nice. Just watch your images here. So the quality of these security seals aren't great. And obviously this one looks way bigger than this one. The McAfee is almost invisible. So just watch your sizing on these images, but lovely to see you've got those security symbols there. Fantastic that you're pulling out on the emotive terms here. And you've got that star rating rated by your happy customers. So definitely pulling out on those points that we say. So this is really, really nice to see. Smart AI wireless voice mouse is an absolute description. I think you could do slightly different here. I feel like there must be some better images further down. I don't know, haven't gone through, but I just think maybe the imagery could be kind of higher up with less of the text here. So let's just have the product image itself. Obviously you can do it with the box if you want. I would get yourself these kind of like few thumbnails as well, just to show different kind of angles of the product itself. Your call to action is obviously only just beneath the fold, so not too bad in all honesty, but this is way too busy down here. You've got limited offer, you've got low stock, you've got deal ending in kind of, the countdown timers. Countdown timers we don't find work as effectively these days, but it's worth testing. But we find things a little bit more subtle, like the whole in stock now, or only so many remaining, rather than these countdown timers might be slightly more effective. Again, in terms of the pricing, because of the way the image is placed here, everything is being squashed down here. So I think if you were to remove this and bring your image up, get some thumbnails here, you could very clearly get your pricing up a little bit higher. You could certainly make this stand out more. So you've got to save 50 USD. So you can make that a little bit brighter, a little bit larger, and that would be really great. Then you can pull your call to action up, which is pretty much above the fold anyway, but bring it actually up so it is above the fold. And that would be hugely beneficial. Did you have you've got a great emoji on there. So this is really nice to see. And then you've got the payment icons here. Now, interesting, we see this a lot. The payment icons are actually larger than your call to action. Guys, you want to make sure that your call to action is the most prominent thing on this page. Now, whilst the color of this shows out, it's actually a little bit lost, surprisingly enough, in amongst all of these boxes. So do make sure that your call to action is nice and large. It's the biggest thing that they kind of need to press here, and it should be bigger than your trust seals. But you've got these key components here, which is great. It's about tightening this up, and obviously I think the imagery in the thumbnails would be really beneficial here as well. You then go down and put a testimonial here, which is fantastic. Obviously, when we're on a desktop, we would have that nice and bold above the fold. This is mobile, so this is quite a nice way of doing it. So that's really great. You go in with the trust seals. This is what we were talking about before. So again, nicely done here. And then we start going into the actual sales of this product. So quite a lot of text there. I'm just going to scroll through. Okay, so this is where you're piquing my interest, just telling me all about the product. Now, I'm scrolling and scrolling. I'm not going into all of the text of this because there's just loads and loads of content here. But what I would say is that I've been scrolling for a while now, and there's been no call to action whatsoever. I think this is going to be a way too text-heavy page for what you have. I would test stripping out some of this content. So go through, see if they think there's anything that you're basically saying the same thing twice. This is something we see a lot, so it's just slightly reworded and people think, actually I don't need that because I am saying the same thing twice. So just be wary when you're doing loads of text that everything is fresh and that is absolutely needed. But yeah, definitely think about getting yourself some more call to action as we go through, because there's a lot of content here. Back up your calls to action with that nice star rating. Again, get yourself a sticky call to action as well. It definitely makes the difference for the conversion rate. So I'm just going to go through, see what we've got. So we're going into, so here we've gone into the review section. Now, what wasn't clear is I very nearly just skipped that because I still thought that this was part of the content. Now, I know I'm going quick for a video, but I would, again, this is about differentiating out your section. So this looks like just another heading, which is the same as the heading before, guys. You know, this is your reviews, your social proof. Shout it out. Make sure it's very clear that we're going from one section into another. So think about, like I said, using the different colors to differentiate. You can use different kind of headings, but this is great. You've got images. These kind of look like, if I'm honest, these look like model images as opposed to, yeah, these look like promotional images. These do not look like people have taken this picture of this at home and then given you that review. So something to be a bit wary of there because it makes it less believable. So apologies if I'm wrong, but these do not look like genuine images. So if I'm thinking that, other people will as well. Just be wary there. But so good to see that you've got all of those desire section in there. Now you should have another repeat call to action in here, guys. And again, you know, keep it the same color, that same green with the great emoji on there, and back it up with this, your 4.9 at 5 stars underneath as well. Okay, you've got the countdown timer, not a huge fan now, and 30-day sale is fine. And then you go into your bundling. So again, brilliant to see that you're bundling. It's just the key and most simplest way to increase your AOV, guys. So it's really, really good to see that. I think, again, this would benefit from being done across one section, across one scroll, just because you're going to be able to see it that bit clearer. And as it stands, although this is your best deal, it's not standing out enough. I think you need to border this a bit more and get a bit more kind of a bit more drama around this, essentially. So even if you actually border this one, just to show that this is the one that you're kind of leading people to actually purchase. Great that you've got, all of the seals and everything here. And then we go down into more content. So do you have an FAQ? Your FAQ is in the footer. Guys, I would go from your desire section, so your social proof section, down into your frequently asked questions section, so nice and separated between each section, and then hit us with those awesome 3 bundles. This extra content, is this absolutely necessary? If it is, pop it up in your content section and strip back some of what you might not need. If you do feel like all of this content is absolutely necessary, then just think about breaking up those sections and showing people that there's a distinct difference. Also think about bullet pointing out some of this stuff as well, just because then it's not so texty. But cute product. I'd like to see how you guys get on, so do let me know. And let's move on to the next one. What's this? Mustang Gag. Okay. Let's just drop this into my tools. So guys, we don't ever do these videos to sell to you or anything like that. So, but if you did want our help on this, of course, all you have to do is reach out to us at landingpageguys.com and we are more than happy to help. But first and foremost, this is about giving you guys some value and hopefully increasing your conversion rate. So what's this one? This is another WordPress, and in terms of speed, let's just let that run for a moment. I'm not sure what this was. I think it's a lead gen of some sort. Oh, okay. Clearly, that's horrendous. So that will be damaging your conversion rate. Now, what I am going to do is just rerun that test, because sometimes when they're really, really heavy like that, it's worth running like 5 or even more tests to get yourself an average. That is just a couple, and obviously it's still saying that we are loading at an incredibly slow time. So this will be massively, massively damaging your conversion rate. So the quickest win for you will be to absolutely compress some images, check that there's no remnants of code, you're not using too many apps that aren't necessary. Speak to your developer, you just need to get that speed down. So let's look at the page itself. And what do we have? What is it? Oh, so we have another agency, and it's not a big page. I can't see why that's so heavy. That's definitely something to have a look at. Okay, so let's have a look from a conversions perspective. And the first thing is your header. Yeah, again, it's not a bad size actually. Your hamburger menu looks nice and cute. It's tidy. As a hero section, it's again same thing. It's not pulling me in. It's not making me want to actually take this action with you yet. So I would think about, so you're creating big results for small businesses. That's great. Okay, this is fine. Now this piece here, bullet point this out. Tell me what are the main benefits. Again, so same with the agency site. What am I going to benefit from using you? Is it going to be, you're going to increase my brand awareness? What are you going to do? You're going to give us the best funnel. You know, tell me how I'm going to benefit, but make it very, very clear for me to see. So either in a strap line or in a couple of bullet points, just get that message across. The page looks kind of disjointed. As it is, we have like what looks like a hero, and then it goes down into this second section. Let me just try and get rid of the cookies. So it looks a little bit disjointed the way that this is cut off here. So I'm not sure why that is. And you have 2 call to action just above the fold. So we've got free consult and we've got get in touch. Now, are they the same thing? If they are, make sure that this is exactly the same call to action. I personally wouldn't go with blue here. I would, firstly, I would pull this down because this white is really distracting. I would have a full-on hero section in this color. And then I would have a much brighter call to action. I would still get yourselves an emoji on there. People think if it's a serious subject, they can't have an emoji. Guys, they absolutely increase your click-through rate. So it's really, really cool. And again, there's no social proof here. So just think that you're driving people to here. This is a marketing thing. You need to have social proof to show people that they're engaging. So get a star rating here somewhere. And ideally, I think a testimonial above the fold would serve you well here, because you don't have that much content that you're trying to put across on your hero section. Any form of trust would be awesome. We need some trust in the forms of the clients that you've worked with, any companies, you know, any accreditations. So get that in a nice section going across the page. As we go down now, you should be starting to pique my interest. And here you start to tell me a little bit about kind of who you are or what this is. So we've got, oh, okay, so this is, you've got lorem ipsum. So this isn't actually complete at the moment. Okay. So if you're actually in the process, then hopefully you'll be able to sort out the speed issues here. I personally would change this section slightly. I would go down into the straight into the 1, 2, 3. So get a nice 1, 2, 3 in here. Put the put an icon. So use icons wherever you can, guys, just because people find it easier to follow, super engaging, and they go straight for it. So nice little icon. Number 1, you know, fill out my form. Nice little icon. Number 2, let's get on this call. Number 3, you're going to have the best sales funnel going. So just think about getting your 1, 2, 3 section in there. In terms of the amount of text to the headline, I think it's absolutely spot on. Again, you're starting to differentiate out these sections, but again, it's looking a little bit kind of a little bit lost, a little bit empty. So maybe bold out that color slightly behind what you offer. And definitely get yourself a repeat call to action. This is a nice section. It's nice and clean. The icons and everything's great. Read more. Is this going to take you to a page within your site? I'm guessing so. In which case, you know, this is a sort of generic page. If you are running your traffic to this page and you just want people to get in touch, have this information come out in a pop-up or get this information on the page itself. But that's a really, really nice section. Then we have a bit about yourself. Hi, Muskan. It's nice to meet you. So this is sweet. It's really nice. It's lovely to see you. If you just look, you can see the text is going over the photograph here. So this image needs to be moved because obviously there's a placement issue there. You then go into the design section, which is absolutely perfect. I love that. Again, you know, you need repeat calls to action. So, you know, get in touch now or whatever it might be, repeat that call to action and put your star rating underneath those calls to action. Love the fact you've got a video testimonial and you've got some, obviously some nice genuine testimonials there as well. Another call to action here, please. And then we go down and we go straight into your actual form fill. Okay, so you just need to pop on here. So after your design section here, you want to get in your frequently asked questions section there, Muskan, and then go down into your form fill. With your form fill, it's actually, I would make this look way more like a form. So, you know, have it with the inverse color, make it very clear that this is a form to fill out, but it's a nice clean form. There's not, you're not asking too much, which is good. But again, you know, make sure that your call to action is absolutely consistent and absolutely stands out, and also get it nice and centrally aligned there as well. Don't forget to get your trust icons in here. You're asking for people's information, so make sure that this is securely encrypted data as well. So let's go on to the final page. This has been a long one today, guys. And this is, what is this? This is a food supplement. First impressions, I love the imagery. It's absolutely great. And let's just see what this is built with. Okay, so this is Open Recipe. We have, okay, so this is an Insta page, which is one of the page builders out there. Guys, page builders are awesome for actually, for testing your concept. But once you have it, once it's all built, then as you scale up, it's just great to go for those more custom pages. Now, the load speed on here is obviously very, very good indeed. The page is clearly not finished yet, so we'll see how that goes. Oh no, that was the other page. So yeah, very good page speed. Sorry, this is fantastic. So what is this page? It's super, super quick, and it's on Insta. Right, so straight away, I think your imagery is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. What I would do is pull stuff up here. So obviously this is a sign up page, you know, basically it's a pre-sale for when this product launches. So I like this. I like your call to action. I think the color you might want to reconsider just because your product imagery is this color. So maybe have this in something completely different, like the green would be really great here. Again, pull up your star rating. You could get this across one line, in all honesty, to pull this up, and you can just pull the imagery up, and then we could quite comfortably get your call to action and these great little icons above the fold where they're going to have that little bit more impact. Again, obviously I don't suppose they're actually purchasing at this point. But actually, it's just a really nice hero section. I still would pull this imagery up. I would probably get myself some thumbnails there. I would tell people maybe how much it's going to be or when it's going to be launched, something like that. But really nice little hero section, and brilliant. You go down into a lovely review there. So learn more. I know that this is like a pre-launch page. But again, you know, hopefully that will come out in a pop-up as opposed to taking you to another page, just because it will keep people on the page and more inclined to take the action that you want them to take. Now, as we go down, obviously we're going into interest. So you give us some nice imagery here. It's some nice content. I like your icons and imagery. I think that's really very, very clean, not too much in the way of text. Just bold out any of the keywords that you want to draw people's eyes to. And with your calls to action, I mean, I'd pull that up. I'm being super nitpicky here. I would pull it up slightly and get your star rating under there as well. You're telling us more about the product here. This is a very nice section, really, really clean. I think your content looks really nice, in all honesty. I like the way you are dropping these reviews in as we go through as well. And then you're giving us more. I'm just checking to see where this actually goes. Okay, cool. So you've got loads of really great content here. And I think the way you've laid this out is quite nice. I think your form fill is great. Again, I think keep these call to action nice and consistent. So either I want it or I want to try. Just make sure you keep it the same. This is fantastic, based on more than 185 calm people. I think, in all honesty, from your hero, what would be great is if on the next section you went more into exactly why I need this product straight away, rather than going into so much of the imagery that you went into. This is all really, really nice content. Again, I like the way you're defining your sections, especially with your reviews. If you can get the odd image in there as well, that would absolutely be fantastic. Comparison things are really good. Presenting these in a table can be really beneficial for conversion, because you're instantly visually able to see, well, this has got this hasn't. So those are really, really nice. Desire section. Or what's this? This is, okay, so you're supported by experts. Obviously, there's a lot of information here because this is basically a pre-sell. Just watch this. You can see that there's some overlap here on your text, so you need to be careful there. It's tiny little things, but again, we go down into a nice big call to action, and then we get to the bottom of the page. So you've got all the stuff in the right order, actually. So we've got a nice frequently asked questions section. Again, it's about padding. Just watch out for big spaces like this. You just want to keep them nice and even wherever possible. You've got that the price of the product is going to be between 25 and 30 euros. I think that this information is key above the fold. So this section here has way better content than your hero section does. So this is what we talk about when we talk about doing the benefits. So I think this would serve you better way higher up on your page. So that would be much better right at the top of the page. But actually, this is a really nice page. It's just about more about tightening up this hero section for sure, leaning on the benefits and getting some more kind of trust stuff if you can actually as well. So has this been featured anywhere yet? I know with pre-launches, quite often they are. If you can get those in there as well, that would be absolutely awesome. So that's actually a really nice page. There's not too much on that. It's more about really fine tuning this page, and it'd be great to hear how you get on with this one. So anyway, guys, I've come to the end. Thank you for listening to me for the last 50 odd minutes. And of course, guys, if you are watching this in YouTube, make sure you come over and join the landing page lab. And guys, if you're in the lab, make sure you come over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.